Hi everybody, welcome to Jin's Wall Street News. According to the US Department of Labor, the number of Americans claiming unemployment benefits decreased from 250,000 to 245,000 in the week ended June 14th. The US Census Bureau and the US Department of Housing, Urban Development announced Wednesday that privately owned housing starts tumbled 9.8% in May from the previous month. Atlanta Fed's GDPNow estimates US real GDP growth at 3.4% for the second quarter. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said after the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, quote, "Today, the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged." 10-year Treasury yield is hovering around 4.39%. U.S. stocks mixed on Wednesday. S&P 500 edged down 0.03% and the Nasdaq Composite added 0.13%. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the number of Americans claiming unemployment benefits decreased from 250,000 to 245,000 in the week ended June 14th. In addition, the number of Americans receiving benefits after an initial week of aid decreased slightly from 1,951,000 to 1,945,000 in the week ended June 7th. The U.S. Census Bureau and the U.S. Department of Housing, Urban Development announced Wednesday that privately owned housing starts tumbled 9.8% from 1,392,000 in April to 1,256,000 in May, down 4.6% from 1,316,000 in May last year. In addition, privately owned housing units authorized by building permits dropped 2% from 1,422,000 in April to 1,393,000 in May, down 1% from 1,407,000 in May last year. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, GDPNow estimates U.S. real GDP growth at 3.4% for the second quarter, down from 3.5% on June 17th, updated based on the housing starts and the building permits report. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell delivered remarks after the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, quote, "Today, the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged." Following growth of 2.5% last year, GDP was reported to have edged down in the first quarter, reflecting swings in net exports that were driven by businesses bringing in imports ahead of potential tariffs. Private domestic final purchases, or PDFP, which excludes net exports, inventory investment, and government spending, grew at a solid 2.5% rate. Within PDFP, growth of consumer spending moderated, while investment in equipment and intangibles rebounded from weakness in the fourth quarter. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.4% this year, somewhat slower than projected in March. The median projection for the unemployment rate in the S&P is 4.5% at the end of this year, a bit higher than projected in March. The median projection in the S&P for total PCE inflation this year is 3%, somewhat higher than projected in March. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.9% at the end of the year, the same as projected in March. The US dollar index rises to 99 after Jerome Powell said PDFP grew at a solid 2.5% rate in Q1. 10-year Treasury yield fell in the morning on Wednesday with the weak housing data, but it started to rebound at afternoon. Then it rises further to 4.39% after Jerome Powell's press conference. US stocks mixed on Wednesday. S&P 500 edged down 0.03% and the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 0.1%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq added 0.13%. Okay, this is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.